What's good? How y'all doing this evening? Welcome back to another episode of the Don's Favorite here on Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. It's your boy the Don here with a big FILA supporter, LT. What's good, man?
What's going on, people? How y'all doing this evening?
Man, we doing good, man. And then I got Bobby Skinner from the Talkin Giants. How you doing this evening, man?
What's going on, fellas? Sorry I was a few minutes late, so we didn't get to, talk backstage. But it's good to be on, man. Giants Falcons. I think we're two teams that are 0-2 and on the brink of just total meltdown. So, one of us is going to be really happy on Monday, and one of us is going to be on the brink. So, hope I'm rooting that it's going to be you guys.
Hold on. Why do you say that?
Well, you guys are more in a rebuild, so but like for the Giants this year, they were expected to win. Like they spent a lot of money. It's year 4 of their GM, and they start out 0-2 versus two winnable teams, and then now Atlanta. I mean,
we're not in rebuild though. It's a retool more than a rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, and you still got Ryan. You guys have good players, at least more so on the offensive side. And it's like it for us, it's expectations to win. And 0-3 is like, I mean, the only thing worse than 0-3 is 0-4. But for us, it'd be like, all right, like people should probably be fired now. Like kind of like you guys did midseason last year, where it's like, okay, like we're not even gonna wait till the offseason to start firing folks.
Yeah, Quinn should have been gone on the scene,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Quinn should have been up out of here probably like after 2018. And I understand other people might say that was like it was an injury-ridden season, but like the reason why I'm saying that because you literally saw in 2019 and in the start of 2020 was the same exact thing that we saw previously, starting off slow. Then like when the season is virtually over for us, then they want to start. Then the coaching staff want to make the necessary adjustments, and then things start picking up towards the end of the season. Like you can't keep doing that.
Where are you guys at right now with Arthur Smith? I mean, I liked him in Tennessee. It's been a slow start for you guys, at least on. Well, I guess your guys' offense has been putting up some points though, so I guess you're not too down on them.
I like what it's 0-2, but you got to look past the record. Right? We've been telling fans this for the past couple of weeks. You just got to look past the record. All right. As far as the offense goes, I love what we're doing on offense. Other than the line can't block for Matt Ryan. All right. I love what I see out of Cordell Patterson. Matt Ryan, he's getting the ball out his hand real quick, which he should have been doing. We have a run game now. Defense, like it's there has been blemishes, and especially this game against Tampa Bay, that we can get off the field on third downs.
You can or you can't.
We can make stops.
Right. So it's a good matchup for you guys because our defense has good players everywhere, but as a pass rush, So it's kind of it's weakness versus weakness and strength versus strength. Where it's our D line and edge guys are weak, like from what you guys are saying, the O line's weak, but you got a good QB in Ryan, like you said. He's maybe doesn't have the arm that he once had, but he's getting the ball out quicker. Then you got Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts. How does Kyle Pitts look so far? Because we all know what kind of player he was in the draft. Sometimes, especially tight ends, take a little while to get in there.
Pitt's coming along. He's coming along. Is people expecting him because we drafted him 4th overall? They expecting him to come out like out the gate with crazy numbers. 10 catches for 150 yards. Like no, the man literally played, and I kid you not, he played one play in the whole preseason, and it was like a short crosser route. He got like 20. He caught it like a 3 or 4 yard pass and got like a 26-yard gain after that. And it was just like, and then once we did that, we immediately sent him to the bench. So like, Pitt still got to learn the game. He still got to get up the game speed from college to NFL. But he's been pretty solid from the way we've been using him. Like week 1, we really didn't get a chance to really utilize him like that. Week 2, you start to see more of him, and you can tell where he's starting to get a little more comfortable. So as the season progresses, I believe you'll see Pitts get more active in our offense. But he's been solid so far.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I seen the first game had like 30-something yards, and then last week 70. I mean, 76 yards is a good game if you're number one. A number one wide receiver has 76 yards. It's not his best game, but it's not a bad game either.
Yeah,
The offense we're trying to run here. Everybody keep thinking it's just going to be a explosive, high octane offense. That's not the type of offense that Arthur Smith is going to run. His philosophy is the main thing is run as much clock off the game as you can. All right, you keep your offense out there. You run the ball. Play action. Just try to these. I think it was a couple of drives last week. They was like 4 or 5 minute drives down the field, and like
something like that.
Yeah, that's how you win games. You keep the opposing offense on the sideline.
Methodically move downfield while also giving you wearing out your opponent's defense while giving your defense a rest.
What should I be expecting out of Patterson? Because I thought the Giants were going to sign him because of the Joe Judge connection. Both special teams guys, and they liked each other in New England. And I was listening to Judge today, and he was speaking highly of him. But backfield carries, are they kind of splitting him out as like kind of a hybrid dude, or is he like kind of just getting some real deal running back carries?
Hybrid. You're seeing he getting running back carries, but he also getting a lot of check downs out the backfield. Okay. So like is a lot of hybrid that y'all will be looking forward to on Sunday. Just like we still utilizing both backs because Mike Davis, he's more of a heavy duty back per se. But like I said, Cordell Patterson is a hybrid. So if for me, I'll tell you this. I know you just a beat. You're a beat writer. Just like we cover the Falcons, but it's not like you could go back and tell them. They pretty sure know on field as well. But if y'all can't figure out a way to kind of limit Patterson for getting like touches like that, it's gonna be a long afternoon for your linebacker core.
Yeah, you guys got weapons. Pitts, Ridley, obviously the two big ones, and then it's like okay, then you got a guy like Patterson who can change a game in a second. So you kind of said look past the record. What happens if you lose this week? Is it like, all right, we looking past the record still? Like, let's say it's the exact same way you lost to the Eagles, you lose to the Giants. Where are you guys at after that?
Look, here's the thing. You brought up the point of weapons. All right, what's good with the weapons if you can't protect it? Like, we don't have our offensive line lacks chemistry. All right, and like I said, you have Jake Matthews, who can be inconsistent in the first part of the season. We have a young guy in Jalen Mayfield. He's a good prospect from Michigan, but he's still learning. You got Matt Hennessy, who's pretty much starting in his fifth game. He played a few games last year. He started. This
would be his sixth start. This Sunday be his sixth start.
All right, so this will be his sixth start this on Sunday, and then you got Chris Lindstrom, who's pretty much the shining star on our offensive line, and then you got Caleb McGarry, who struggles a lot. So
no OTA, none of that, and then he had an off-season procedure on his because he have when we drafted him, we already knew he had health issues and whatnot. So you got that going on.
So we're friends with his. Do you guys remember Keenan Forney, who was a guard for you in the Michael Vick days?
Yeah,
we had him on the show. We had
him on the show.
Keenan's our guy because he was training Andrew Thomas, so I reached out to him. He's a good dude, so that's cool. He was. I'll have to tell him I jumped on with you guys because I know he was training McGarry, and I think he was training one of the other.
Chris Lindstrom.
Yeah. And obviously some other guys around the league, but I remember he was training Andrew, so I remember reaching out to him and we made a connection there.
We were real cool with Forney.
That's cool.
Let me ask you this: what are your thoughts on Daniel Jones? Because I've been hearing, because like I seen it. You have your highs, you have your lows, but I've seen more good out of Daniel Jones than bad. But it seems like a lot of people are not really sold on him anymore. Like I've literally seen some like after the week 1 matchup, I've seen people like, man, we should just scrap the plane and win after Justin Fields, and I'm just looking like, bro, y'all ain't giving Daniel Jones an opportunity yet. Like
Part of that is
Like,
just
yeah.
that's the way New York is. I mean, they try and run out everybody. Part of it was what people thought about him before the draft, and people don't like to change their mind when they are wrong about stuff in the draft. I like Jones, and I think here's the issue though. I can't stand Jason Garrett, our offensive coordinator. Like I wanted, and I'm a patient person. I'm not yelling like fire this guy, fire. But I wanted Garrett gone. And he just did not play the Jones strengths. They took because he had all those turnovers his rookie year. And what they did is instead of being like, hey, let's kind of work on his strengths and try and limit the turnovers, but kind of trust him to get better at that, they changed the offense totally around when they fired Shermer and made it like to stop turnovers. But this year he has looked better. He seems to be working the pocket better, not taking a ton of sacks. Moving like he's always had a good deep ball. So this year so far it's looked good, but it's about being they got to be consistent. He's got to be consistent because he's fixed the turnovers. He's had one interception in the last 8 games, and that was off of Evan Ingram's hands. So he's gotten better at that, but it's about putting up points consistently more so than it is than not having turnovers.
Who did y'all pick in the first round this year?
Kadarius Toney from the Gators. Which we haven't used him at all, which has been frustrating.
I'm sorry. When you said his name, the first thing that came to my mind was other content creators. I think one of the dude named 5 Point Vids, and he was live during the draft, and like he said he was like, Lord, if we pick Kadarius Toney, and like he thought for sure, like I think it was like a defensive tackle or defensive lineman. He was thinking about y'all picking, and when that man name called, like he lost his mind. Like his reaction was priceless. That what made me laugh when you said his name. Cause I was just like, wow, I forgot about that.
You'll have to send it to me. I like Toney. They just haven't used him. He kind of had he was dealing with an injury in COVID during camp, so he missed a lot of camp. But he played 20 snaps this last game. 12 of them were run plays, and then the other 5 were like they ran 5 crow routes, and then they put him on a drag route, which was good. But how many yards do you think he's got on the season? What in 2 games? Let's say he played 25 snaps.
He played 25 snaps total.
Yeah.
And you said how many yards I think he had?
Yeah.
Well, based off your breakdown, you said he played 12. The last game you were 12 played. How many plays you said? Like 20?
He's got -2 yards so far this season.
Oh my God!
-2
his
yards.
First game.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was gonna say probably maybe anywhere from 0 to 2 yards, but Jesus.
Oh, I was bragging because Washington drafted De'Ami Brown, the Jets drafted Elijah Moore, and after week 1, Toney had more yards than both of those with -2 because they both had -3 after week 1. So, but yeah, they're just not using him.
And he's a weapon. I mean, he was a weapon at Florida. I'm a Georgia fan, so he was a weapon at Florida. I mean, when he played Georgia, he was a weapon. He's fast. He's one of the smaller receivers that you can put in the slot and you can put him anywhere really, and he can take the top off. But I don't know. Jason Garrett is your offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's my issue.
He doesn't look like that prototypical Jason Garrett wide receiver though.
Which is why would they draft he's not a timing wide receiver. Which Shep, he's been good. He's a timing wide receiver, and Jason Garrett's offense is all about reading the defense before the snap and getting everything out on time. Where it's well, that's not what Toney is. Toney's you give him some space and let him break open, not run a perfect 7-yard curl or a hitch or whatever. So it's been frustrating, but I think they'll probably try and use him more. I mean, they ramped him up this past week. There were some stories that came out that he was frustrated and stuff, but I think they'll probably try and use him a little more this week.
Yeah, but back to the Daniel Jones situation. I really think he's good. Is he great? Time will tell. But from the days of y'all having Eli Manning, a good quarterback, and y'all had deep. I mean, ain't gonna lie, y'all had a good defense when y'all won those 2 Super Bowls, right or wrong.
The second one, they were ranked last, but they did play better in the playoffs. But
y'all ranked last in what?
In yards, they get that year in 2011. It was either last or second last. They were a really bad defense that year, and they were a bad O-line. Eli, that was his best year Now they played better in the playoffs, you know.
No, I'm pretty sure I looked back at 2011 Football Outsiders. Y'all had the top 10 defense that year.
Let me see. 2011.
2011 total team defense. In the playoffs, they were better, you know. So, you know, like they had some good dudes. But they average, hold on, let me pull it up. Points per game.
No, not points per game. We were talking about just total. I need to get Football Outsiders out real quick. Hold on.
Total yards, hold on. They were, come on, freaking.
They had they weren't top total yards. They weren't high at all. I think. Let me see.
6. They were 6 in yards allowed. 6 worse.
Yeah.
So you said 6 worse, so they were like what 26 in the league.
Yeah, and then points they were 6 worse than points, but they were bad, and the O line was bad that year. I mean, Eli carried them to the playoffs that year. But like I said, the defense played well. Right now, I have more faith in the Giants' defense right now than I do the offense. It's been a slow start, but like they added better play. It's, you know, and their defensive coordinator Patrick Graham, I really like a ton. It's been a slow start, and they'll make some changes, you know, where the offense I think is kind of capped at average, even though they've got some decent players. Because I'm just not a big Garrett guy.
How do you feel about Aziz? You know, me being a Georgia guy. What is your opinion on Aziz?
Georgia guys. I love Georgia, man. Y'all have given us a lot of players. I loved Andrew Thomas. Like you were mentioning
Andrew Thomas too.
I love the Andrew Thomas pick, and these other two are looking at me like they're not Georgia fans when I say that.
No, he's a Michigan fan. I am a Georgia fan as well. But it's the fact that because like it's the fact that like I mean I understand. I want to see the boy from Georgia to be successful in the league. But it seems like every time I turn around, like people always mention about like drafting Georgia guys, like every year for the Falcons and whatnot. You can't draft every guy that come out of Georgia. That's just not how it goes.
We had fans down here who wanted to get rid of Matt Ryan for Jake Fromm.
Sheesh. Yeah. But I do. I mean, we've drafted a ton. You know, Andrew Thomas. I like Aziz so far. He's had flash plays. Like he's had 2 sacks. But he hasn't been consistent, which I wasn't expecting that out of him. So I'm okay with what Aziz has been so far. We had DeAndre Baker. Do y'all remember how the whole DeAndre Baker? Oh man, he got framed. I mean, I even tried to like interview his lawyer and stuff, and he ended up being like they dropped the charges. I'm not saying he was, you know, he was up to no good, but he didn't commit the crimes they said he did, and they ended up dropping the charges on him. I was pretty pissed when the Giants cut him, but.
The New York Bulldogs. I remember my mom's a Giants fan, so I remember when you guys drafted Andrew Thomas, and I was like, you're welcome. And then we drafted Kyle Pitts this year, and she was like, you're welcome. So it kind of sort of went back and forth. Yeah. But for you,
Crowder, he's a good player. He's a starting linebacker, and then Lorenzo, he had the injury last year, but he's starting for us. I mean, you know, if DeAndre Baker didn't get in trouble, we would have had 5 Georgia Bulldogs in the last like 3 years.
It's like Dan Quinn and LSU with his linebackers and stuff. Like he goes to LSU almost every year, so it's the same type of thing. It's cool though. I like seeing y'all get Giants play. I mean Georgia play. It's cool.
I have a friend that's a Giants fan, but I remember in the draft earlier this year that he wanted Justin Fields. He wanted y'all to take Justin Fields. Like I'm like. Why would you want Justin Fields? Y'all just drafted Daniel Jones.
Some people just hate Daniel Jones. You know who I wanted from Georgia this year was Monty Rice. I liked him a lot. I thought he was super underrated. But yeah, I was a big Andrew Thomas guy. I was, you know, he was kind of getting disrespected a little bit towards the draft, and I was like, this guy's the top one out of all of them. And he hasn't been that yet. But
Choo, get out of here with all that, man.
I wish you quit.
I know Choo-Choo's coming out.
I wish you would quit putting his comment up there.
He was saying John Ross is going to burn y'all. John Ross is on IR, so
y'all got John Ross. My thing is so like as a Giants team, I say this as a fan base. Why do some people not like Daniel Jones? Because some people are like, well, let's give him time, and then some people are like, let's get rid of him.
part of it is just New York, and then, like I said before, I think it's just whatever people think of you for the draft, they don't really want to change their mind. You know, like people hated Josh Allen, and they he did an MVP year, and you still had people making fun of him. Oh, he didn't win MVP, but close.
We have that down here in Atlanta. Like people hate Matt Ryan. Like they live in fantasy land. They still upset about we didn't pick Justin Fields this draft, and they still holding on to the ghost of Mike Vick.
Yeah. Here's one thing I'll say with you guys, because a lot of people are saying you guys should draft a QB. Matt Ryan's got a lot of money left on his deal, you know?
Exactly.
A lot of money, you know? People were comparing it to us when we stayed with Eli, but it's Eli had a 2 years left, and 1 year he didn't have a bunch of guaranteed money. I mean, I was looking at Matt Ryan's contract before the draft trying to figure out if you guys would take a QB, and I was like, oh, there's no way they're taking a QB with all that money.
And we try to tell people that, but people don't want to listen.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we actually we gave him another year on that contract. We didn't give him more money, but we gave him another year on it. So my thing is, man, Matt still has years left. People, I don't understand the mindset that folks have that he's 36, he got maybe up to 38, 39 before he start falling off the cliff. And I'm like, okay, well, y'all don't say that about Tom Brady and he's 44, and they be like, well, it's Tom Brady, he got 7 Super Bowls. No, he plays on a team. That's why the man played on successful teams. Out of now his 20 plus seasons, but in so many, he done had 16 years in his career, probably 17 now, that he has had a top 10 defense. If you look at the Falcons over the years, you cannot tell me when we had a top-notch defense. We basically was winning games basically solely off our offense, pretty much outperforming. You might get a couple of defensive stops here and there, but a shown up defense that for sure that was even middle of the pack. We never had nobody that was ranked that was a top 15 defense in the league. You know what I'm saying? That's a bad look for us. If you give Matt a middle of the pack defense, no telling what he could have done. If he took us to the Super Bowl with a 27th ranked defense, and we went to the Super Bowl off that,
he had a 14th or 15th ranked defense.
Exactly.
But y'all don't, man. It seems it looks like your guys' defense right now is everyone's get right game. You know, that's what the Giants fans are saying right now. It's well, this will be the game where our offense looks good. The Eagles scored points. Tampa's good regardless.
The defense played better than they did last week against Tampa Bay. All right, they made crucial stops. It's just the tip interceptions, special teams not helping our defense out at all by the punter punting the ball 3 yards.
Shanked the ball twice. Yeah, that man
doesn't help your defense at all.
That man, we was at the 10. We was at our own 10-yard line, and when he punted in a crucial part of the game, he shanked it so bad to the point. I think when they marked it out, we was like I said, when we punted, we was at our own 10. When they spotted the ball for Tampa to take on the offensive position again, we was at our own 43. You cannot do that in a game like that, especially after we done closed the gap on it when they had a 21-10 lead. And then it went from 21-10 to 28 to 25. You can't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I literally just did a film study on that game just a while ago. And if you look back at watching that game, the Tampa body language told the story. They thought it was gonna be smooth sailing until they realized it was a 3-point game. They body language told it. They didn't know what was going on. They was oh snap, we in a dogfight. To be honest, Tampa could possibly go back to the Super Bowl. And the only reason you're saying that because they are the defending champions and they signed pretty much everybody back. The thing is, though, they not scary. If you play sound football against them, don't give up turnovers and put pressure on Brady, they could fold. They human just like us.
Daniel Jones played the worst game of his career last year versus them on that Monday night game, and we lost by 2 points. We could, had a 2-point conversion at the end and missed it. And that was Daniel Jones' worst game of his career by far. So they're
and that's what we be trying to tell folks when people trying to say, "Oh, they beat us 48 to 25. Like, no, okay, like some freakish plays happen. That would happen. And like, then be honest, Todd Bowles ran a zero coverage, basically using the all-out blitz towards our weak line, which is smart. But at the same time, like we seen when Arthur Smith got in that game calling game plan, like when he got into like game calling rhythm, like Todd Bowles had no answer. So he basically sunk the house to pretty much force Matt to get the ball out of his hands into like situations where the ball could get to the there and get intercepted. He had to do that because his game plan wasn't working. He was getting screwed over. So we was like, listen, we just gonna send the house and hopefully we could cause some turnovers because he had nothing else. Like the offense was clicking, like it wasn't nothing. He had nothing for us in the second half.
And let's break down. I'm gonna do it one more time about these interceptions. The first tip interception. All right, Gage ran the curl route. All right, now Todd Bowles had his DBs run in zone. All right?
That was the second one. That wasn't the first one.
No, that was the first one with Gage. That was the first one. The second one.
What?
The second one was the. Well, I'm not talking about all three interceptions. I'm talking
No,
about
the pick six.
Yeah. Six. That's the ones I'm talking about. The first pick six. All right. The first pick six. Gage ran the curl route. All right. And Tampa Bay, they was in zone. So the defender, Gage came in his zone. He made a play on the ball. Gage was hurt. All right. Gage was playing hurt. And that's one mistake right there. If he hurt, why is he in the game? All right, but whatever. Now, the first thing Gage should have did was box the defender out. He did not do that. So, whose fault is that? Questions?
Yeah. Gage? Is he injured, Gage? Is he missing?
We don't know yet.
Is day to day right now, but what I'm saying is when you run around like that and you see in the defender that's several yards off the line of scrimmage, you supposed to box them out. Like you don't just supposed to just go out there and just run around. Like yeah, you run your route, but you also when you about to catch the ball, you box the defender out so you can make a play on the ball. He didn't do that, and everybody keep blaming that's Matt Ryan's fault. That wasn't Matt Ryan's fault.
Yeah, I know too much about curl routes. It's like Jason Garrett runs it. I've never seen so many curl routes in my life. Like it sounds like a joke. And someone sent me a file of Jason Garrett's like 2017 Cowboys playbook, and I swear to God, the first 20 pages were sticks and curls. The first 20 pages of 60 pages on their pass game install was sticks and curls. So I know way too much about curl routes. In fact, that touchdown to Slayton on Thursday night. That play was all curls, but Daniel Jones audible Slayton on a go route. So that play should have been 4 different curl routes, but thankfully Daniel Jones audibled out of it.
That's I don't understand why you guys went and got Jason Garrett. You played him for how many years was he in Dallas? Like 5 or you played him that whole time and then go and get him. Like I don't know, man. Our
owner John Mara, he played for. He just loves him. He likes him. I don't understand it, and I understand maybe hiring him, but then after seeing what happened year one and Daniel Jones go from 24 touchdowns in 12 games to 11 in 14 games, and being going from the 19th ranked offense to the second worst with better players, I don't know how they brought him back. I was pretty against bringing him back.
Yeah, I don't know what Judge was thinking about that. I really just don't know.
It's crazy because you mentioned them curl routes, and I used to say that all the time about when he was in Dallas. Like I remember Jason Witt retired, then he came out of retirement to come play again. I was like, all they're gonna do is run a 5-yard curl route. That's all he got.
And that man did it better than anyone. I'll give Witten credit for it, but it's like you got Evan Ingram, who's basically like his only good attribute is his speed. Like he's not a good route runner. He has a ton of drops, and it's like, all right, we're gonna use you on 5-yard curls. It's like, well, put him in a straight line and let him run. That's how he can be good.
Run him up the seam. That's why I always thought Evan Ingram was meant for us. You ought to have a seam threat.
Seam, crossers, anything but the stick concept where he's running a 5-yard curl or 5-yard out. Here's something my co-host on the show pointed this out. No receiver or tight end last year had a worse passer rating when targeted than Evan Ingram last year. Now, part of that is because he literally tipped up 4 interceptions, like literally like a volleyball player. 4 interceptions were off Evan Ingram's hands, and then it's the DB behind him. But man, it was a train wreck for him. And then they put him in the Pro Bowl, which was pretty funny. He's the only player who made the Pro Bowl, and his own fan base was mad about it.
Good God, are y'all serious?
Oh, Giants fans were killing him when he made the Pro. I felt bad for him because I'm critical of him, but I felt he made the Pro Bowl, and all Giants fans were like in his mentions telling him about how he sucks. I felt bad for the dude.
The Pro Bowl ain't how it used to be, man. Now it's more of a popularity contest, and it just I don't even want to get started on that.
But Evan Ingram's the least popular player on the Giants right now, and he made it, so it was pretty funny.
Same with Matt Ryan. Same with Matt Ryan for the Falcons.
You guys are in a similar spot than we are with Eli, where the fan base is split on, the best QB of your franchise. Vic's time wasn't, he didn't get to finish it out, but Matt Ryan, he took you guys to the Super Bowl. So,
but people don't care about that. People care about flash. People care about excitement. Like, I'm telling you, it's more fans. They'll say Vic was the best quarterback in Falcons franchise. They would look at you with a straight face and say that.
Yeah, I love Vic, man. I mean, I was in like middle school, high school when Vic was big, and I mean, he was the most. Him and Allen Iverson were the two most like. They were the top sports players in the world. Everyone had Iverson jerseys and Vic jerseys. So, I mean, that was in Central Florida. I can only imagine what it was like in Atlanta. I'm sure middle school.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Vic was phenomenal. A phenomenal athlete. I could definitely say that he can make plays and make you go, wow, like he did that. But what accuse me is having folks say, we was winning when we had Vic. We literally, our franchise never had back-to-back winning seasons until Matt Ryan was drafted.
Yeah.
So, mindful, we've been a franchise since 1966. And it took all the way to 2008 and 2009 for us to get back-to-back winning seasons as a franchise. And then people say, we literally played in the Super Bowl, and we literally have folks that say, well, that don't mean nothing. Like Vic went to Lambeau and beat Green Bay. That's a wild card game.
Let me remind everybody what happened with Vic. Hold on.
My partners who slang a roll, kicking flow, rolling balls, man.
I like that. So do you guys? I like that. Do you guys like Vic? Like, obviously, he's
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I guess I'm the youngest one. I'm only 20. So Vic was drafted the year I was born. Vic was born. He was drafted in 01. I was born in 01. So I got to experience like Vic growing up. But Matt Ryan's my quarterback for since I've been like 10. So I mean, like I'm just used to him now. So that's like I have a problem with Vic. I have a problem with the fan base treating Vic like he's just the like the greatest football player of all time. Like that's the only thing I have with that. It's just that I think for Atlanta, even it's not kids my age really aren't the same. I don't know, for the older guys, but my age, it's like okay, Vic played here, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean Matt Ryan is more successful, obviously, but I like that video though.
But yeah, here's the thing, and I created it, so you're welcome. But I like Vic, I really do. But to sit here and say that if we comparing Ryan and Vic, Ryan's the better quarterback. You just look at the stats and everything. He done took this franchise. He owns a third of the wins for this franchise, and this franchise was created in '66.
Yeah, I mean, and Vic's head wasn't right when he was there. Obviously, I mean, it's obvious. He was I mean, he forget even the dog stuff. He admitted he's like, I would not go home and watch film ever. It's like they would ask me to do it, and I just would never pop it in.
He said this, and people still like idolize this man to this day over this. And like going back to 2016 season, remember we had that last game of the season. We played the Saints. We beat the Saints. We were gonna be a second seed in the playoffs. Now, that was the last regular season game in the Georgia Dome before we moved over to Mercedes-Benz. So they had this they honored the former Falcons players who played in the Dome from 93 all the way up to 2016. So
Oh yeah, I remember
Vic.
that.
They had Vic, they had Roddy White, they had Jesse Tuggle, they had other players, Chris Chandler and Jamal Anderson.
Keith Brook and Ward done.
Yeah, they had all the former players, who played for the Falcons during that time period. And a friend of mine, he had tickets to go to the game, and he said, "Oh, well, I'm dipping out of halftime. I just want to go see Vic." I'm like, "Bro, we about to have a second seed in the playoffs. And you trying to just go see Vic ride around in the convertible during halftime?"
That's funny. So what does Ryan have? Like, are you guys like Ryan? We should probably move on from him next year, or like, or what with Ryan? Because he is getting older, and it's you guys aren't winning.
He can still play. We're not winning because of Ryan. We're not winning because of the former coaching staff and how this team was built with the old regime. So you have a new regime here now, new GM, new head coach. You got to give it time to matriculate. Give it time for the players to actually develop. Like, I see players now, like, for instance, Isaiah Oliver. He looks a little better now with the new coaching staff. So
yeah, I like Arthur Smith, and I think you guys at 0-2 and like you said, look past it's like I am like pretty damn down on the Giants right now, starting at 0-2. There's two winnable games with Denver and Washington, losing both of them. And like I said, if we lose to you guys, it's going to be just all out panic in Giants land because our schedule gets tough after that.
I felt bad for y'all that doggone Washington loss because, man, y'all had it. I mean, like, he missed the field goal and they called the offside. It was just like crap.
And there's just so many times where we should have won that game and ended it, and we didn't. Settling for the field goal at the end and not just run pass. That Slayton. I mean, that game was that. It seems like all our heartbreaking losses too come on Thursday night. Like last year versus the Eagles, coming off our first win, and then Evan Ingram drops that game. Like it would have been a game-winning pass. They would have kneeled the ball down 3 times on third down, and he drops it, and then they go down the field and score. And so it was pretty brutal. But
I mean, at least you dealing with a situation where okay, the example you just gave as a drop pass. Right, and for us, we literally watch our offense go down the field, get like the go-ahead score, just to watch our defense to give up a TD in 43 seconds with our opponent not even having a timeout. Like, we had to watch that. So yeah, that ain't fun. That's not fun at all.
Well, good for you guys. The Giants won't even try and do that. If we get the ball back with 43 seconds, they'll just run the ball and then kneel it after that. So, and that's one of my frustrating things with the Giants offense. It's like it seems like sometimes we're not even trying to have big plays. It's like we're trying to, have these 20, 25 play drives, and it's just not possible.
So I have a question. Dexter Lawrence, all right, and I just want to talk more about the game this week. How you think Dexter Lawrence is going to fare up against the Falcons online?
So Dexter Lawrence was pretty damn good last year. Not great yet, but like good. And he was like kind of in ours as well, guy to break out this year. And he hasn't had a great first couple of games. But I think, you guys talk about your guys' O-line having struggles. Like this should be a game for Dex to eat, and him and Leonard Williams too, at 11.5 sacks last year. Like this should be like kind of a game for those two guys to get that pressure up the middle and finish some plays where they they combined for 1 tackle for loss in the first 2 games together. Like they can't be doing that. Those guys need to be averaging like 1 and 1.5 per game out of the 2 of them. So I think Dex needs to be good against your guys' offensive line, or if not, then there's real issues there.
Yeah.
How's y'all secondary?
It hasn't been great. It's good. I mean, James Bradbury, you guys played against him with the Panthers. He was a shutdown corner last year. Like, he was really, really good. And then they signed Adoree Jackson from the Titans, and then you have 3 good safeties. 2 good safeties in Logan Ryan and Jabril Peppers, who have both been ballers. Xavier McKinney, who was a rookie last year but was injured. So they have.
Wait, y'all got Logan Ryan?
Yeah, we signed him last year. We moved him to safety too. We signed him right before.
I thought y'all was playing safety when he was in New England.
No, he was like a nickel corner, and then in Tennessee he was a corner, and then Yeah, he did. We signed him like 2 weeks before the season, and he moved to safety. So yeah, our secondary is good, but they haven't played up to what they could be.
Y'all need a pass rush. That's why.
Yeah, that's really it. We have no pass rush. I mean, we can't get any pressure without blitzing a ton, and then when you blitz a ton, it puts your secondary with issues. Like we have our nickel corner isn't great, and Darnay Holmes, who he was a rookie last year, so that would be the weak spot. Is like whoever your slot receiver is, like that would be your best matchup this week.
So basically, we're gonna find out which one's worse, our O line or your D line.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. Honestly, like I said,
me and you both. Me and you both.
This is why I'm so excited to watch this game because it's our weak spot on offense is our offensive line. Y'all weak spot on y'all defense is y'all D line, and so we're gonna see the trenches really gonna matter this Sunday. And see who's gonna be better. Like I've said this, as far as our interior linemen with Hennessy and Mayfield, they went up against some top defensive tackles the past couple of weeks, and Fletcher Cox, and then last week Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh. So now we're playing Dexter Lawrence, and Dexter Lawrence is not a slouch, but
and still got JPP they had to deal with too. So that's really like that whole front in Tampa was really a lot for our people to deal with, but for the most part, they did good. I have to give them credit. Like for y'all not to have no chemistry whatsoever. Basically y'all second game actually playing together, and you had to go against Vita Vea, Ndamukong Suh, and JPP. And I mean, I think we gave up maybe 1-2 sacks that whole game. So you did. I mean, for the most part, you did good. Just that you got pushed back that led to them interceptions, but they did pretty good, and they're learning, and that's all you can ask for at this point.
Yeah.
Yes, like you said, weakness versus weakness and strength versus strength. I will say our interior is a strength, and like Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence is like, I think just our defensive tackle group had more sacks than like 5 or 6 teams last year. It's just the fact that our outside linebacker, defensive end, dude. Nothing. Like our top returning outside linebacker pass rusher had 1 sack last year. Where Leonard Williams had 11.5, Dexter Lawrence had like 5, and then some of the other Dalvin and a couple of the other guys who aren't here anymore had some. So it's a strength, but it's not. It hasn't been as good as it should be to start the season.
Yeah. So you guys, like I said, so this year for you guys. You brought in Aziz. Did you draft any other edge rushers this year?
No. I kind of wish they drafted Pay in the first round and Aziz in the second round. And that's the issue is Aziz not ready to be the number one dude. No. And he kind of is right now.
Yeah, Pay would have been good for y'all.
Aziz came out of college as the number one. I mean, he came from Georgia.
But I'm saying like in the NFL, he's not ready yet.
Yeah, NFL ready he wasn't. I mean, he won us the game versus Cincinnati.
Yeah,
but
he was more NFL rated than Aziz.
Yeah.
But he has good like Aziz has the best plays from that group. Like he has 2 sacks, he has a couple tackles for loss. It's just Aziz hasn't been consistent enough, which I wasn't expecting. It's the issue is that we have no one else besides him really to make a play from that group.
Wow. Okay, I'll just keep messing up on. Okay, stand right now. All right, so let's go ahead and go with our prediction for the week. I'll go ahead and start with you, Bobby.
All right. So on the show every week, I said Giants 77, the other team 0. But I'll keep it real for you guys. I'm going to say Giants 27, Falcons 23. I think our defense kind of does a decent job, but our offense, even versus your guys' poorest defense, just doesn't know how to score a ton of points. It doesn't matter who it's against. So I'll go 27-23.
I hope we do not. I hope our defense do not have another game of giving up more than 25 points. Like, that's not good. I understand.
Someone said 28-3. And do you guys ever – I mean, that's got to be the worst joke in the world to have to deal with over and over.
Yeah.
If people are still making those jokes, I would probably block everyone who said 28-3. Not because it bothers me. Just
let me tell you something. You know what's funny about that 20? Do you know what's funny about the 28-3 comments? Like literally like Patriot fans be looking at folks like what, like obviously like fan bases get on us about 28-3, and I don't see Patriot fans like what y'all at for? Y'all wouldn't even score 28 points against us. Like I've seen Patriot fans literally come out and say that like we tired of y'all making a joke. Like it ain't even y'all. And how can y'all talk about them blowing? And they be like, how can y'all talk about 23 with them when we wouldn't even, our team wouldn't even allow your team to score 28 points? So like,
and it's really Panthers fans too. They be saying that. I'm like, did y'all really even believe in y'all Super Bowl?
They didn't even score a touchdown.
Exactly, they ain't scored nothing. But
Wait, who is it? You said Panthers fans?
Yeah.
Oh, who the hell did the Panthers just say anything? They did worse in the Super Bowl than you guys did,
exactly.
And they were expected to win that game by a lot.
Because Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Your quarterback was scared. Your quarterback in the biggest game of his life, and he's fumbled the ball, and he's scared to dive on it. Like, come on, dude, you shouldn't be talking about us.
Anyway,
keep your mouth shut about us.
All right, yeah, tell me what you think, man.
Probably in the same realm. But I probably might say Atlanta. I probably say Atlanta 24, 20.
Okay, Tyrone.
I'll go. I think we hit 28 this week. I think Atlanta. It's like I think it was like 28-21, something close to that. I'll go Atlanta 28-21.
All right, me. I'm gonna go ahead. This gonna be the game that we're gonna get right, and I feel like we're gonna really see the playbook open up even more this week against the Giants.
My team.
Because we can do that because you guys really don't have a pass rush.
Yeah, I like Arthur Smith a lot too.
I'm just calling spade a spade. As far as the defense go, we're gonna give up some touchdowns, but I hope DPs can have one game that we can hold the opponent under 20 points. And I think this should be the game right here. If we don't allow Saquon, he's healthy, right?
He don't look like the same dude.
Yeah, he really
like he had the one breakout run, and in the past he would pass those dudes. And besides that, man, he's not. He's always kind of had an issue like dancing in the backfield a little bit. But and I've been a Saquon supporter. I'm starting to get real worried about Saquon. If he doesn't play well this game, and I'm saying I don't need him to have 150 yards, but I think he has 43 yards, or no, he has. I mean, he's besides one 40-yard run, he's averaging like 1.5 yards per carry. He's just not hitting the hole. So I'm worried about Saquon so far.
If we can stop Saquon, we stand on the 20.
What about Galladay though? He had some success for you guys. I think Jones and Galladay, this will be kind of the game for them to finally connect on a couple of big ones.
Yeah, but yeah, I say if we can stop
Saquon,
then because the problem has just been the first game we can maintain we can contain holding the edge, all right, in the first game. So Jalen just kept moving up and down, just making plays. Last week, Brady, he had a good game, but people low key not giving Leonard Fournette his credit. He ran the ball well as well. So if we can, do better at stopping the run, I really feel like we can hold you guys under 20 points. So I'm gonna go Falcons. I'm gonna say 28, and the Giants 17.
17, man, you gotta give us more than 17 versus that defense. I said we'd be panicking if we lose this game. If we lose this game and score 17 points, I may just quit the podcast and be done.
Jason Garrett. If you only score 17 points, you gotta fire Jason Garrett.
I almost, you know what? Maybe I'm rooting for 17 points, so then we could fire Jason Garrett. But man, that would be brutal. That would be. Giants fans might burn down the stadium, and that we're retiring Eli Manning's jersey. So, oh man,
that'd
be
it's funny because Matt's about to pass him. Matt's about to pass him in yards. Hopefully this year he's close and in touchdowns. He's close to passing Eli.
How many in yards though? He's almost there in yards.
Yeah, he's literally almost there in yards. I think he's only like a couple. It just depends on how much we throw the ball this year, but he's not that far off. It's just hilarious. I was talking about that earlier. I was like, well, what if Matt just decides this, like he's not gonna throw that much for I think he's only like 100. He might be a couple hundred off. I have to see because he had a big game last week.
If he do it against the Giants, that'd be highly ironic. What's the thoughts on the Galladay and Garrett beef that's going on up there?
I mean, you guys know there's the difference. There's arguments happen. You know, it didn't look like it was like a beef to where like, you know, where like they dislike each other. It just looked like they were arguing about something. You know, it was probably Kenny Galladay saying to stop running me on curl routes because he ran 2 curl routes on the last 4 plays of that series. So I didn't make much of it. Everyone thought it was Daniel Jones at first, including myself. Like I was the one who posted the clip. And then you look back at it and it's like, oh, it looked like it was Jason Garrett. And then he ended up saying that it was Garrett. So I would rather it be Garrett than Jones. So yeah, Matt Ryan is
a little bit more. It'll be later towards the year. He has 700 yards off, so it'll be more towards the end of the year. He'll get it this year.
Yeah, he'll get it.
So
he'll probably get it.
Hello, get what? Who's accomplishing what?
Eli, he has to pass Eli this year. He'll pass Eli if he gets 700 yards. And
Eli's 8, Ryan's 9.
Yeah.
So
Ben's he's not until Ben retires. We don't know who's going. If Ben might go up to 5. Really, we don't know. But Matt has a chance to be in top 5. I think he can if he keeps playing. He has enough years where I think he can get top 5.
Right.
He'll definitely get top 5.
Oh yeah, he'll get top 5. No problem. So, hey, appreciate you coming on again, man. Before when we close the air out, man, we really need to talk to you about some important stuff too. But once again, let everybody know where they can find you.
On YouTube, it's just the Talkin Giants channel. We do the podcast and stuff, but I think people like our little film breakdowns. So, maybe after the game, I'm not saying you probably want to listen to our podcast, but maybe you'll want to see, our O-line versus your D-line or something, and that's where you can find us, Talkin Giants on YouTube. So,
if y'all want to, at the end of the game, if y'all want to invite one of us on or whatever to talk about the game, to break it down, we, more than welcome to come on. So,
sounds good.
But thank you again for coming on. And like I said, once we end the show, we're gonna talk some business. But everybody else that's in the live, appreciate y'all coming on tonight. LT, man, once again, let everybody know where they can find you.
You know me, man. Find me on Twitter at wordplay_kid26, man.
All right. Tyrone, you got anything to plug, man?
Of course, tomorrow rivalry week, and then Friday and Saturday call on Tyrone weekend, the weekend show. Friday night is prediction night. We're gonna be watching the game Friday night. I don't know which game comes on Friday, but we'll sit and watch probably from that halftime up to the fourth quarter. Just talking college football for a little bit, and then Saturday night is the whole Saturday preview. We're trying to cover some lines. I'm gonna do some betting predictions on Friday night. So if you into betting college football, come in and listen because I'm probably gonna give you. I think I was 3-0 last week. So come in and listen because I'm giving some good stuff out. I'm not gonna let you bet on something I don't think gonna happen.
Hey, y'all make sure y'all tune in to Call Out Tyrone shows, and tomorrow we will be doing our rivalry week show, Georgia Tech versus North Carolina. Tune in to that tomorrow in the evening. Hey, this is a great show. I'm ready for Sunday to come through so we can get our first win of the season. So if you're everybody new to the channel,
quoting me,
we need it, man. We really need it. But if you're new to the channel, y'all already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this content out with Atlanta Sports Fanatics, and hit us up in the comments.
If we being honest, I think you would rather for us to win if you want to get rid of Jason Garrett. Yeah, so you might want
to. Maybe long term, but that I can't. That Sunday night, Monday morning, man, that'd be a new low for me. Like I said, I might just quit the podcast. So we'll do that a little later.
Don't quit the podcast. Cause don't get me wrong, it gets better. Listen. The debacle against the Cowboys last year, man. Any of us want to quit the podcast business. So yeah, trust me, I know the feeling.
Anyway, hey, everybody, y'all have a good night. Once again, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. It's your boy The Dunn with another episode of The Dunn's Favorite here on Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. Y'all have a great night. We'll see y'all again tomorrow. We out. Peace.